Yeah, for upholding peace in our nation. We appreciate you. Yeah, police officers.
We, the Zambia Police Service, shall uphold professionalism.
Hello viewers, welcome to the Arrive Alive program where we talk about matters of road safety. Today my name is Alinani Jerome Sitali and I am your host. Today in the studio with me is Mr. Thomas Miyoba, the Research and Partnership Manager from Zambia Road Safety Trust. Mr. Miyoba, welcome to the Arrive Alive program.
Thank you so much, Alinani. I'm glad to be part of this program. Greetings, viewers.
Every day we see children on the road going to school and as they come back to their homes. For this reason, we are discussing children's safety on the road. And Mr. Miyoba will share some of his insights on the safe mobility practices they can use to arrive alive and how other road users can use to keep children safe on the road. Let's get started with our discussion. Mr. Miyoba, what are the most common causes of road accidents involving children and how can they be prevented?
Thank you so much, Alinani, for that question. First and foremost, I must highlight that this is a very important topic, Alinani, especially for children, for parents out there, and everyone, especially in regards to children's safety on the road. Very important topic indeed. And so some of the very common causes of these road traffic accidents related to children is children love playing on the road, okay? Playing around, moving about, and also sometimes instead of just walking properly when they want to cross the road, children like running on the road. So that increases the probability of having an accident. And also one of the major reasons, one of the common reasons is not having pedestrian crossing, not having speed bumps. So when you don't have speed bumps, it means motorists or drivers will begin to overspeed. They don't have things that will slow them down to begin to keep everyone who moves on the road safe. So those are some of the common causes. Now, when you look at some of those common causes, you ask the second part of the question that you asked, you said, how can they be prevented, right? How can they be avoided? How can we make sure accidents that involve children don't happen? So one of the key solutions that needs to be used in order to prevent such scenarios is we need to make sure we put pedestrian crossing, the zebra crossing, what everyone calls zebra crossing. Okay, that helps or indicates to the driver, so okay, at each zebra crossing you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to stop. Mind you, the law says if someone doesn't stop at a zebra crossing, you're supposed to be charged 300 kwacha. Okay, so putting up zebra crossing, putting up speed bumps. Remember I said to say overspeeding or speeding too much from the motorists or the drivers causes some of these accidents. So when you put those speed bumps, they'll begin to slow the drivers down. Okay, the police officer or the enforcement officer doesn't have to be there for them to be slowed down, but at least the speed bump will do what? Will reduce their speed like that. Then we need to increase on the level of awareness. We need to teach children how to walk on the road, which side of the road they're supposed to move on. We need to increase on the level of sensitization so that you know, say, oh, Alinani, if you are moving on the road, you need to move, for example, there is an oncoming car, you are supposed to move on the right side and not on the left side that the car is moving. Because if you do that, if you move on the left, you increase the risk of you being bashed. Okay? So we need to increase even on the levels of awareness and sensitization like that. Thank you.
How should schools and parents work together to make sure that children have good road safety habits?
Okay. When it comes to road safety for children, parents and schools or teachers are key stakeholders. They need to find ways of how to work together. So for the school, it starts with developing a proper curriculum that talks about road safety also. Apart from learning about social studies, apart from learning about environmental science, apart from learning about any other subjects, we need to embed in the curriculum road safety And I'm glad there is a curriculum like that, and of which RATSA is also mandated to make sure, Road Transport and Safety Agency is mandated to make sure in each and every school, public school, there is a road safety club. Okay, and so for the schools, they need to work on the curriculum and make sure the curriculum is improved. Then for the parents, they need to make sure, apart from just them learning about the highway code, there's what is called the highway code, which shows the guidelines about you moving on the road, those who are driving. There's a highway code which shows you how you're supposed to walk as a child, Alinani. There's a highway code which guides you, directs you. So parents need to sit down with the children and teach them to say, look, you're supposed to move like this when you're on the road. You're supposed to hold somebody's hand, okay, so that you are safe, okay? And even when you get out of the car, instead of you getting, if for example, you are in the car, instead of you getting out of the right side of the motor vehicle, make sure you get out where there's a pavement or there's a footpath. Because this other side, there are no other cars which are coming. But if you move on the other side of the door, the other cars which are coming in the opposite direction, it might bash a child. Because children, remember I said, love running on the road. So you find that they might want to run and they'll be bashed. So parents play a key role also, and they need to collaborate with teachers and just begin to help to increase levels of safety on the road.
Okay. What role does infrastructure such as pedestrian crossing and traffic calming measures play in the role of protecting children? So
those infrastructure improvements, they play a key role at the nanny. Remember what I said earlier. I said if there is a zebra cross, at least to signal to a driver to say you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to stop. And if they are stubborn, okay, if they are stubborn, the speed bump will do what? Will also stop them, reduce their speed. So those traffic calming measures just help to reduce the speed, okay? Other calming measures that need to be put in place, for example, in school zones, for you guys who go to school, is what we call a 30-kilometer signage. You need to put a 30-kilometer signage, because if a car is moving at 30 kilometers per hour, the chances of it stopping, for example, if there's any distraction or maybe a child runs in front like that, the chances of it stopping, the distance of it is reduced. But then if it is moving above 30, the distance for it to stop if it's in any distraction is increased. As a result, it's difficult to avoid an accident. So on the road, there has to be proper signage in terms of infrastructure. You have to put speed bumps. You have to put zebra crossing. Okay? But of course, there has to be also a lot of enforcement. Because right now, as it is, even if there's zebra crossing, most cars don't stop. So if those factors are put in together, they help to promote road safety for children, Alinan.
With the rise of distractions like mobile phones, how can we ensure that children are attentive when walking near roads?
Okay, how can we ensure that children are attentive? So to begin with, what I want to mention is technology is good, right? It's good to have phones. It's easier for parents to get hold of you. Mom will call you to say, okay, maybe you call your teacher or check on you or put a tracker. They're what we call tracker. So the technology has its own advantages, yes. But then it only becomes a problem if you are walking on the road, you are going to school, Alinani, you keep pressing the phone. Your attention, those five senses, they'll be tempered with. You need proper attention when you're on the road. So when you're using the phone, and now there are those headsets, right? Bluetooth headsets. Someone will be just listening to music. Don't do that when you're on the road, because it will distract you. Instead of listening to a car which is coming, instead of you seeing to say maybe there's an accident which is oncoming, to be difficult for you to have that attention, that focus. So we need you to have that focus, that attention, and when you're walking on the road, if you want to cross the road, you need to have that serious attention, because you never know what may happen. Let me just tell you a simple story of what happened to one of your friends. This is a true story, but I'll use a different name to just protect the person who was involved, okay? This is a true story. So this child was being dropped, was being dropped from school, okay? Was being dropped from school by a school bus. When this child was being dropped from a school bus, she was supposed to cross on the other side. It's like the house you're seeing it across the road. She was supposed to cross like that. So when the driver for the school bus dropped that child, apparently she didn't know that there was a car coming on the other side. Okay? She didn't know there was another car coming on. It was cruising And what happened is when that car was cruising, all of a sudden she just knew she's supposed to cross like that. She didn't even hear it. And that's how it hit her. She went up and came down on the tarmac. That's how the child passed on, just like that. So what am I trying to say? What I'm saying is, on the road, anything can happen. So imagine such a thing happens and you're even putting on headsets and you're even using your phone. So you reduce chances of you hearing if there's another car coming or anything is happening on the road. So you need to be attentive when you're on the road. So parents need to sit down with their children and really talk to them when it comes to using phones. And not only parents, this is a call for everyone. In road safety, we believe that it's a shared responsibility. Parents, teachers, everyone is supposed to play a role in ensuring that children are safe on the road.
So from that story, what question I've gotten is, what safety measures should drivers take when driving through or near school or residential areas?
Yeah, so what drivers need to do, first and foremost, they need to be cautious of the road signs. Okay? In Zambia, we've put up road signs. They are not enough. We can do much more. We can put more road signs. For example, as Zambia Road Safe Trust, we have conducted a campaign which started in 2019 for putting 30 km per hour in school zones. So in school zones, there has to be that 30 km. So immediately a driver comes on a school zone, they see, oh, there's a signage which says 30 km per hour. They are reminded, so they need to reduce their speed. So drivers, in short, Alinani, they're supposed to reduce speed. They need to reduce speed when they are driving on the road. They need to be cautious to say that sometimes children don't obey rules. So when you reach such a place, you need to reduce their speed. Make sure they are cautious of children. They need to be cautious of children. They need to be attentive when they reach such zones, and pay attention to road signage, pay attention to speed bumps also, things like that. Thank you.
How can communities and local governments improve road safety or spread awareness and enforcement about it?
Okay, so the local government and communities also are one of the key stakeholders in terms of promoting road safety for children. Okay, so I'll start with the community, then maybe I'll come to the government lastly. The community, what we need to do is we need to make sure we promote road safety for children. We need to make sure we promote sensitization and awareness. Make sure we watch over our children. Communities can also come together. Come together, for example, if you see to say, I mentioned to say, lack of pedestrian crossing is one of the common causes of accidents involving children, right? Communities can come together, make certain contributions, and put up a zebra cross. Okay? I love what Mother Teresa, there's a saying which says, if you can't feed 100 children, at least feed how many? One. If you can't feed 100 children, at least feed one. What does that mean, Arinani? What that means is, you may not solve all the problems in the world, but identify one. So if, for example, in the community there's a particular spot where children keep dying or where there are a lot of road accidents, community can come together. They don't have to wait for the government to say, oh, Bo, my Tiranga Nepo, let the government look at us. The community can come together, mobilize some coins, and put up a zebra cross. Or, if not put up a zebra cross, do a research. Come up with a proper research, like where they ask each household what the real problem is. And then when they come up with results, they can work with an NGO like us to do a proper research, and then we'll produce that evidence and take it now to the local government that you are talking about. You said, what's the role of the local government also, right? So when we take to the local government, they need to be informed, say, oh, there's a problem here. And this problem, there is evidence. Okay, and now the local government comes in with that evidence, with that background. They'll use evidence-based methods to make sure they put up proper infrastructure, the traffic calming measures that you are asking about, that will help to reduce the number of accidents that may happen at that particular spot. Okay, and put up, so the local government again can put up certain laws and policies. For example, again, I'll refer to Zambia Road Safety Trust. There is a policy that we worked with Lusaka City Council. So this policy, Alinani, just to highlight you and to every viewer out there, is talking about pedestrian safety and cyclists. So this policy is talking about if you create any road, there has to be a walkway where you need to walk. Okay, because if you don't have that walkway, that designated walkway, Alinani will be forced to go on the road. Because maybe there's water where you're walking, where you're supposed to pass, you avoid water and want to walk in the what? In the road. And so the local government is encouraged with this policy that I'm talking about, is encouraged to create walkways, cycling path. There are some of your friends who cycle when going to school. Then they don't have the privilege maybe to use a car, they cycle. Okay? And so in this policy, we're also talking about what? We're talking about creating cycling paths.
We are discussing road safety and how to arrive alive. We take a short break and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Zambia News and Information Services, your media and communication hub. Need a professional space? We offer state-of-the-art studio hire for sound and film productions. Experience comprehensive news coverage and in-depth features that bring you closer to the stories that matter. Capture your moments with our professional photography services, perfect for events, portraits, and more. Looking for eye-catching visuals? Our graphic art and design team will elevate your brand with custom solutions. Host your next event with confidence. We provide high-quality conference systems and public address systems tailored to your needs. Contact us today at zanismarketing@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 0773 809 040. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back to the Arrive Alive program, where we're talking about children's safety on the road and how they can arrive alive. Mr. Miyoba, may you please give me your last remarks?
Okay, my last remarks, Alinani. Thank you so much for, first and foremost, for being on this very important program to talk about children's road safety tips. So what I can say, honestly, lastly, is road safety for children is a responsibility for everyone. It's your responsibility, Alinani. It's your parents' responsibility. It's my responsibility. It's the government's responsibility. It's a shared responsibility. So in road safety, we believe there's a safe system approach. In this safe systems approach, we say road safety is a shared responsibility. It's a shared responsibility, and one of the principles under that is what we call being proactive. Okay? Simply because sometimes there's no accident in a certain community doesn't mean we need to look out for certain potential risk in the community, especially regarding to children. There are certain spots in this community, in these schools, where we don't have like the signage that we were talking about, having 30 kilometers per hour, having the pedestrian crossing, having the speed bumps, having the bollards. There's also what we call bollards. So bollards are like, you know, those sometimes they are metallic, sometimes they use cement like to put along the way as you are walking in the walkway, that protect. In case a car maneuvers off the road, the bollard will protect. So road safety entails to say we need to be proactive. You need to be proactive. When you start off from school, Alinani, you need to make sure you prepare yourself. As you prepare yourself, make sure you are cautious on the road. Make sure you don't use headphones. You don't use your phone. Moreover, I don't know about schools nowadays. In our days, our schools, you wouldn't even be allowed to use a phone. So there was no chance of even using the phone as you are going to school. But what I'm saying is you need to be deliberate about road safety. Parents, make sure we teach our children road safety. We learn about the highway code. How many times do we take time to sit down with our children and just teach them, especially the section which talks about pedestrian? In the highway code, there's a section which talks about pedestrian, which talks about children, talks about how they are supposed to walk, how they are supposed to walk on the road, how they are supposed to be seen if there are some who knock off very late, okay? They need to be visible on the road, wearing reflective gear like what Alinani is wearing right now. Can wear a reflector like that, or this reflector which I'm wearing, so that the drivers, the motorists are able to see, every road user is able to see, oh, there's someone who's moving on the road. Like that will reduce the number of accidents, okay? And so parents, we need to be deliberate also about that. And also for the community, we have a role to play also to promote road safety. There are times, sometimes you see children walking in the wrong direction. You can speak to them. Tell them to say, oh, move in the right direction. tell them, say, you're not supposed to move in this direction. We have that mandate as community when we see that children are moving in the wrong direction of the road. So in concluding, what I can say, Alinani, is road safety is a shared responsibility. Let's make sure we protect our children, especially even during this rainy season, that most cars just veer off the road. They maneuver off the road because of losing grip on the road because of the rains. So we need to make sure we are road safety cautious even as we move forward. So thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be part of this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me on this program today and for sharing your insights on children's safety on the road. To our viewers, especially our children, thank you for joining us, and we hope you've learned a thing or two. And parents, make sure your children learn how to safely cross the road. And remember, road safety is a shared responsibility. I've been discussing with Mr. Thomas Miyoba from Zambia Road Safety Trust on how children can learn about road safety. I've been your host, Alinani Sitali. For now, it's goodbye.
Police officers, yeah, for upholding peace in our nation. We appreciate you, yeah. Police officers, yeah.
We, the Zambia Police Service, shall uphold professionalism